What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to Soulsborne Academy. Don't mind the hunter in the corner, they're just here for your protection. In today's Soulsborne Academy, we're going to go over my top 3 weapons that you should not ignore in Dark Souls 3. Starting off with my love, my bias, the weapon that makes me probably the most obnoxious ever, and I love it. The Dragon Slayer Great Axe, which if you've played Dark Souls 1, you know where that name comes from. If you said Dragon Slayer Ornstein, ding ding ding, we have a winner. Now, I don't know about you, but wielding a Great Axe entitled the Dragon Slayer Great Axe has to be one of the most chaotically beautiful things ever. Now, if I remember correctly, this Great Axe is obtained pretty late into the game towards the final boss. I don't remember what I used before this. I'll be completely honest with you. I played Dark Souls 3 a couple of years ago. So for me, when I got this sword, that was it. That's what my brain focused on. I remember using Artorias' sword with finding the mimic, like the other version of the bonfire area. But yeah, I don't remember what I used before the Dragon Slayer Great Axe. It was probably not that great of a weapon, to be honest, if I can't remember it. But yeah, I utilized the Dragon Slayer Great Axe for the ending of my time with Dark Souls 3 and of course the DLC. Now I'm in the Ring City battling the twin demons, so that one is come in handy quite a bit with that boss battle. Through the process of soul transposition, you can actually convert this soul into a ring, a weapon, or a spell. And this is the heaviest Great Axe weapon, so if you're not a strength build, sorry, you need to be the chonkiest of the chonk in order to wield this, okay? You need to have a chonk so big that the chonks are afraid of you. Your chonk needs to be superseded. Your chonk needs to be powerful. We get it. You need to be chunky. Move it along. Next up is the Sellsword Twin Blades. While I have not personally used this weapon, I've seen it in action, and oh boy, they're good. They are very good. Now, I just want to say, if this is your first time going into a Souls game and you pick Dark Souls 3, first of all, how dare you? You're supposed to go Dark Souls 1, 2, and then 3. If you start with 3, you don't get the stuff that makes 3 great, so you gotta go back to 1, and then 2, and then it's just a hot mess fucking distress. Why would you do that to yourself? But I digress. If you've never played a Souls game in your entire existence and this is your first one, please be a quality build. That way you understand how different weapons work and you can be a little more malleable with your approach, so to speak. I recommend this to every newcomer whenever it comes to Souls games and also Souls-likes, because becoming a dex build will allow you more maneuverability in how you approach the games. So when it comes to this weapon in particular, you want to be at least a 60 dex with an 18 to 20 strength. That way you get at least an AR of around 370, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. 370, 380, somewhere around that. You can also, like I said before, infuse it with things so that way you can take out bosses and no problem. Like, I've seen these weapons at work and they're really, really fantastic. You just have to be able to know how to utilize it properly to get the most out of them. Last but not least, the creme de la creme. Well, okay, technically the Dragon Slayer Great Axe was creme de la creme, but I digress. One of the most reliable swords in the Souls series. It's known for its reliability, versatility, and just impressive damage output. This weapon has been an absolute staple in the Souls series, and it is the Claymore. Again, if you are a quality build, you are absolutely going to love this sword because you can focus on dex and strength and get the best of both worlds. I kid you not, within the first hour or so of Dark Souls 3, you can find this very sword, because so much of the time I see people go into Souls games and pick the weapon that looks cool instead of something that will optimize what their build is. And these are things I wish I had known when I started Souls games, because I went in, I thought, ooh, that looks awesome. That looks great. Oh, that's pyromancy. I can't use pyromancy. Why? I had no idea. What I realized is that I was going around picking all of these different weapons. Oh, I want to pick this one. I want to pick that one. It's like picking, a bag or something like that off the shelf and not realizing, like, oh, this bag doesn't hold everything I need it to. Oh, okay, this bag doesn't hold my wallet or my lip gloss or, my ID or any of the things that I actually need it to hold. Just like a weapon in Dark Souls, you actually need it to have substance. You can't just have it look good. I don't know why I just compared Dark Souls weapons to handbags, but here we are. It's like going to the gym only to take pictures and not working out. You gotta actually pick the sword that fits your build. But in Dark Souls 3, they made it very easy to just stick with one type of sword, because Dark Souls 3 is just... I love Dark Souls 3. The way that they did Dark Souls 3 was absolutely incredible. Especially if you are a beginner in the Souls franchise, I would highly recommend utilizing the Claymore. Like I said, you find this weapon within the first hour or so of your playthrough of Dark Souls 3. Utilize it, buff the hell out of it, and take on all of the bosses with it. This sword can be utilized to match your needs, your play styles. It can be buffed. You can use spells with it. There's so much that you can do with a Claymore. There's so much. So yes, I would highly recommend this, especially if it is your first time playing Dark Souls and you want a sword that's meaty and it has some really good power. Utilize the Claymore. And then if you want to go over to a full strength build and become absolutely obnoxious, utilize the Dragon Slayer Great Axe. Over to the dark side, we have obnoxious movesets. But that's it for today's episode of Soulsborne Academy. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter, and I will see you all in the next one. Umbasa.